After phishing, let's talk about SQL injection. SQL injection stands for structured query language injection, which is a database attack, though it resides within the application. So it's the application vulnerability that we are trying to look at to try to bypass authentication. As the name suggests, a SQL injection vulnerability allows an attacker to inject malicious input into a SQL statement. What is a SQL statement? A query that is used by an application and is fired off to the database. Database executes that query, gets that information that is required, and sends it back to the user if the user is authenticated. So we're going to look at the SQL injection attack demo here. And what we are going to do is we are going to go back to our VMware workstation. And I've got a tool over here called OWASP, Broken Web Application, which is a utility that has been created for people like us to test our skills, to learn on how we can develop our skills further. So this has a lot of vulnerable applications built within it. We're just going to try to access it, and you're going to see if we can create a SQL injection attack. Just waiting for it to boot up. Once it boots up, it will give us an IP address. There we are. So we need to connect to 71.132. So I can just use the same browser I was using, close up Facebook, and now go to 192.168.71.132. And this is the OWASP Broken Web Application project. What we are going to do is we are going to go to New today. And this is an application that has a lot of information within it. You can see it gives you links about what you should do, help me, video tutorials, listing of vulnerabilities that they have, and so on and so forth. So you can see we are not logged in right now. I'm just going to do this as a demo. So what we are going to do is we are going to look at this and bypass authentication. So we are taken to the login page where you need a username and password to log in. And we're going to type in test as the username and test as the password. Click on login, and you can see that account does not exist, so the authentication mechanism works. Now what we want to do is we want to create a query. Now what does a query look like? When I type in a username and a password, if I just type in a single quote here, it is going to create an error, and this is what the SQL query looks like. Select username from account where username is a single quote, and then the exception error happened, so it's not showing the rest of the query to us. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to craft a query here, single quote, and give it a condition, or 1 equals 1 space hyphen space. What happens hyphen space is comments out anything after that. So the password field is being commented out at this point in time, and I'm just giving it a condition where the condition is true. 1 does equal 1. And if this condition is true, it is going to allow me to log in. So you can see right now we are not logged in. This bypasses the authentication mechanism, and you can see user authenticated, and we are now logged in as admin. So in the training, what we need to understand as a whole is how SQL works, what are the queries that are structured with, how you can, what are the testing operators. Now, the single quote that we used, that was an operator in the SQL syntax, what these operators are, how they function, and then how you can leverage these attacks. There are different tools that are given to you in Kali as well that you can utilize. So in Kali Linux, you can just open up a command prompt, and there's a tool called SQL map. You need to give it a particular site. So SQL map-u for the URL and whatever the URL is. Now URL here, and then once you're here, you just press the enter key. This tool will craft all the queries in the background for you. You don't even have to know SQL query or SQL languages. This is a very easy tool to utilize. Sadly, I cannot demo this on a live website because that would be illegal, but you can see how you can operate this yourself. That's what SQL injections are all about.